September 19th, 1944. Arracourt, France. 0547 hours. You sit in the commander's cupola of your M4A1 Sherman tank, and through the morning fog rolling across the Moselle Valley, you hear the sound that makes every American tanker's blood run cold, the deep, guttural rumble of German diesel engines. Not one, not two, dozens. The ground trembles beneath your 33 tons of welded steel. Your loader, Private Jimmy Donovan from Brooklyn, whispers what you're all thinking. Jesus Christ, Sarge, that's a lot of them. You are Staff Sergeant William McCollum. You are 24 years old. You are from a farm outside Topeka, Kansas, where the biggest thing you ever operated was a John Deere tractor. And right now, you command 5 men inside a tank that everyone, from the supply clerks to the infantry to the enemy across that fog-shrouded field, calls the same thing, a metal coffin. They are not wrong to call it that. Your Sherman weighs 33 tons. The German Panther weighs 45. Your main gun is a 75mm that can penetrate 3 inches of armor at 500 yards on a good day, with a perfect angle if you pray hard enough. The Panther's 75mm, longer, higher velocity, can punch through 5 inches at 1,000 yards. The math is not complicated. The math says you die. Your armor is 2 inches thick on the front glacis. The Panther's is 3.5 inches, sloped at 55 degrees, effectively doubling its protection. When a Panther round hits your Sherman, it goes through the front armor, through the fighting compartment, through the engine block, and out the back. When your round hits a Panther from the front, it bounces. You have seen it happen. You have heard the metallic ping of American tungsten skipping off German steel like a stone across a pond. There is more. Your Sherman runs on gasoline, high-octane aviation fuel. When it ignites, and it will ignite, because fuel lines run through the crew compartment, it does not just burn, it explodes, it incinerates. Tankers have a name for it, brewing up. As in, Johnson's crew brewed up outside Cannes. As in, they died screaming. As in, you scrape what is left of them into a rubberized bag, and you do not look at their faces, because there are no faces anymore. The Germans know this. They have a name for the Sherman too, Tommy Cooker. Tommy Cooker, because British and American tank crews cook inside them. So here is the truth that everyone in the Third Army knows in September 1944. When you face a Panther, you lose. When you face a Tiger, you die before you realize you are in a fight. The doctrine is simple. Do not engage German armor head-on. Wait for air support. Call in artillery. Maneuver to the flanks. Shoot treads. Shoot engine decks. Shoot anything except the front. Survive by not fighting. And if you must fight, the unofficial math says it takes 5 Shermans to kill 1 Panther. 5, which means 4 of you die so the 5th can get a side shot. You do the calculus every morning when you climb into your tank. You wonder which number you will be, 1 through 4 or 5. But this morning, this cold, fog-choked morning in eastern France, you will not have 5 tanks. You will not have air support. You will not have time to maneuver. Because through that fog, through the wet autumn air, you hear them coming. The 113th Panzer Brigade, fresh from the factories, new crews, 43 Panthers, 15 Panzer IVs, and they are rolling straight at your position. You key your radio. All Cobra units, this is Cobra 6. Contact, armor, lots of it, northwest quadrant. The response crackles back, your company commander. Steady voice, too steady. Cobra 6, understood. Hold position, reinforcements en route. You glance at your watch, 0549 hours. You look at the fog. You do the math again, and you absolutely know that reinforcements will not arrive in time. Your name is William Alexander McCollum, but everyone calls you Wild Bill. And the nickname is a joke because you are the opposite of wild. You do not drink. You do not gamble. You write letters home to your mother every Sunday, and before every engagement, you pray. Not for victory, not for glory, for competence. You pray that you will do your job without getting your crew killed. You have been in France for 83 days. You landed on Utah Beach on June 28th, 2 weeks after D-Day, and you have been driving east ever since. Through the hedgerows, through the breakout at Avranches, through villages whose names you cannot pronounce and will not remember. You have fired your main gun in anger 47 times. You have destroyed 2 half-tracks, 1 Panzer IV, and an ammunition truck. You have lost friends. You watched Baker Company's 3rd Platoon get annihilated outside Saint-Lô when they rounded a corner and found 3 Panthers waiting. You remember the sound, the sharp, flat crack of the Panther's gun, louder than thunder, faster than thought, and then the screaming on the radio that cut off mid-word. You have been afraid for 83 days. But you are still here. Your crew is still here, and there is a reason for that. You are careful. You are patient. You study the terrain. You memorize every sight picture, every range card, every avenue of approach. Your gunner, Corporal Eddie Reese from Pittsburgh, says you think like a farmer, always planning 3 moves ahead, always watching the weather, always knowing where the exits are. Your crew trusts you. Donovan, your loader, 19 years old, talks too much when he is nervous, which is always. Reese, your gunner, 26, former machinist, can put a round through a window at 800 yards. Your driver, Private Roy Kowalski from Milwaukee, 22, never says much, but he can coax your Sherman through mud that would swallow a half-track. And your assistant driver/bow gunner, Private First Class Danny Wright from Alabama, 20 years old, has a picture of his girl taped to the inside of the hull, looks at it before every fight. 5 men, 33 tons of steel, 1 75mm gun. And in 3 minutes, you will face the entire weight of a German armored brigade. Let me explain what is happening here, why this moment matters, why this morning will change everything. It is September 1944. The Allies have broken out of Normandy. Patton's Third Army is racing east toward the German border, moving so fast that supply lines cannot keep up. The Germans are retreating, but they are not broken, not yet, and they are about to prove it. The 113th Panzer Brigade is a new unit, built around the Panther Ausf G, the most advanced medium tank in the world. Thicker armor than earlier models, better gun optics, crew training improved after the disasters in Normandy. German High Command has given them one mission: stop Patton, blunt the American advance, show the Americans that German armor is still superior, show them that all the Shermans in the world cannot stand against true German engineering. They have chosen Arracourt to prove it. Your position, the village of Arracourt and the rolling farmland around it, is the hinge of the entire Third Army advance. If the Germans retake it, they cut Patton's supply lines. If they cut the supply lines, the advance stops. If the advance stops, the war drags into winter, maybe into 1945, maybe longer. The German commanders know this. They have massed everything they can scrape together. Panthers, Panzer IVs, infantry, artillery, they are coming in force, and they expect you to sweep you aside, like they swept aside British armor at Villers-Bocage, like they swept aside Soviet armor at Kursk. They expect you to run. They do not know about Wild Bill McCollum from Topeka, Kansas. They do not know that you spent every evening for the past week studying this exact terrain, that you paced out the distances, that you know the tree line to your northwest is exactly 740 yards from your position, that you know the slight rise in the ground at 620 yards creates a perfect hold-down position, that you know the morning fog burns off from the east, which means the sun will be at your back. They do not know that yesterday you made your crew practice loading drills until Donovan's hands bled. 6 rounds per minute, 7, 8, faster, always faster. They do not know that you told Reese to forget everything the manual says about engaging German armor. Forget the flanking doctrine. Forget the 5-to-1 ratio. You told him, we shoot treads, we shoot gun barrels, we shoot driver's vision ports, and if we get a perfect shot, if the angle is right and the range is close, we punch through the lower hull where the armor is thin. They do not know that you are not planning to survive this engagement. You are planning to win it. The fog swirls. The diesel rumble grows louder. You raise your binoculars. 0551 hours. Gunner, sabot, load. You hear the clang of the breech, Donovan's voice, up. You inhale. The fog parts, and you see them. They come out of the fog like iron ghosts. The first Panther appears at 780 yards, turret traversing, hunting. It has not seen you yet. Your Sherman is hulled down behind a stone wall, only your turret visible, partially concealed by the burned-out remains of a French farm shed. You have been in this position since midnight, waiting. The Panther advances, 760 yards, 740. It is moving slowly, cautiously, scanning the tree line to your left. It does not expect contact here. It expects you to be falling back. It expects you to be running. Range, you whisper. 720, Reese says. His eye is pressed to the gun sight. His hand rests on the traversing wheel. Steady, calm. 720 yards. This is not a good range for the 75 millimeter. This is a Hail Mary range. But you have been practicing. You know the ballistics. You know that the Panther's lower front plate, the armor that protects the transmission, is only 60 millimeters thick, not sloped. If you can hit it, if the shell does not shatter, if the angle is right. Steady, you say. The Panther stops, turret traversing right. It has spotted something, not you, something else, another American position. This is the moment. This is the only moment you will get. Fire! The gun bucks. The crack splits the morning air. The recoil slams the breech backward. You do not watch the tracer. You watch the Panther. 1 second. 2. The round hits low. Sparks fly from the lower hull. The Panther jerks, stops. Smoke begins pouring from the engine deck. Hit, you say. Reload. Up, Donovan shouts. The Panther is not dead. Its turret is still moving. It is turning toward you. You have maybe 3 seconds before that 75 millimeter gun finds you. Fire! Second round. This one hits the turret ring. The Panther shudders. The turret stops traversing. The hatch flies open. You see crew bailing out, running. Target destroyed, Reese says. Jesus Christ, Sarge, we got a Panther! Traverse left, you snap. There's more. There are so many more. The fog is lifting now, and you see them all. 8 Panthers in the first wave, maybe more behind them. They are spread across the field in a loose wedge formation, advancing toward the American lines. Toward you. You key the radio. All Cobra units, this is Cobra 6. Enemy armor, 8. Note 10 contacts, northwest approach, engaging. The radio explodes with chatter. Other tank commanders, infantry, artillery observers. Everyone sees them now. Everyone knows what is coming. But you are the only one in position to do anything about it. Second target, Panzer IV, 650 yards, right side. The Panzer IV is older, lighter. Its armor you can penetrate. Reese centers the crosshairs, fires. The round punches through the front plate. The Panzer IV explodes, ammunition cooking off, black smoke boiling into the sky. Reload! Up! A third tank, another Panther. It has seen you now. Its gun is turning. You are in a race. Who can fire first? Fire! 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 You shout. Reese fires. The round hits the Panther's tracks. The track explodes in a spray of steel links. The Panther slews sideways, immobilized. But its gun is still turning. Back up! Kowalski, back us up now! Your Sherman lurches backward. The Panther fires. The round passes through the space where your turret was 2 seconds ago. You hear it crack overhead, supersonic. If you had stayed in position, you would be dead. Stop! Traverse right! Hit that Panther again! Reese fires. This round hits the Panther's gun mantlet. The barrel droops, disabled. 3 enemy tanks down in 90 seconds. You are breathing hard. Your hands are shaking. This is not how armor engagements are supposed to work. You are not supposed to be winning. But you look at the field. You look at the burning Panzer IV, the immobilized Panthers, and you realize something. The Germans are surprised. They are not expecting resistance. They are advancing in formation, not expecting to fight. They think they are conducting a pursuit. They are wrong. Gunner, scan right. Find me another target. Panther, 720 yards, moving left to right. Fire when ready. The gun bucks. 4th kill. The Panther slews sideways, smoke pouring from the hull. The German formation is breaking now. You can see it. Tanks are stopping, spreading out. They are reacting. They know there is a threat, but they do not know where it is coming from. The fog is still thick in patches. The smoke from the burning vehicles is spreading. You are hull down. You are invisible. Keep firing, you say, as fast as you can. And now the battle becomes a rhythm. Mathematics, precision, load, aim, fire. The breech slams back. The shell casing clangs onto the turret floor. Donovan rams another round home. Up. Reese finds the target, centers it, fires. 8 seconds. 7. 6. You are getting faster. 5th kill. A Panther at 680 yards. Hit in the turret. Penetration. Crew bails. 6th kill. A Panzer IV trying to flank. Reese catches it moving. Side shot. Ammunition detonates. The radio is chaos now. Other American tanks are engaging. Artillery is falling on the German rear elements. Fighter bombers are being called in. But you do not stop. You cannot stop, because the Germans are still coming. A Panther breaks through the smoke, closer than the others, 400 yards. Its gun is trained on your position. You see the muzzle flash. Hold down, you scream. The Sherman drops into a ditch. The German round passes overhead, so close you feel the pressure wave. So close it tears the radio antenna off your turret. Up! Get us up! The engine screams. The Sherman claws out of the ditch. You're exposed, vulnerable. The Panther is reloading. You have maybe 3 seconds. Reese! He got him, Sarge. Fire. The round hits the Panther's lower hull. Not a penetration, but it doesn't need to be. The impact jams the transmission. The Panther stops. Reese fires again. This time the round punches through. 7th kill. Your ears are ringing. The turret is full of smoke and cordite. Donovan is coughing. Wright is firing the bow machine gun at German infantry trying to advance with the tanks. Kowalski is nursing the engine, which is overheating. You have been in combat for 7 minutes.
You have destroyed 7 enemy vehicles. And the Germans are retreating. You see it happen. The Panthers are pulling back. Not a rout, not a panic, but they are withdrawing, reversing, disappearing into the smoke and fog. The attack is faltering. Cease fire, you say. Cease fire, conserve ammunition. The battlefield goes quiet. Just the crackle of burning vehicles, the pop of ammunition cooking off, the moans of wounded men. You slump in your seat. Your hands are trembling. You taste copper in your mouth. You realize you've bitten through your lip. Donovan is laughing, hysterical, relieved laughter. "We're alive! Jesus Christ, Sarge, we're alive!" Reese is checking his gun sight, making sure it is still aligned. Professional, focused. Wright is staring at the picture of his girl, just staring. Kowalski says, "Engine's gonna seize if we don't shut her down soon."
You look at the field. 7 burning vehicles. German crew members wandering in shock. Some surrendering, some still fighting. And then you see them. More tanks, coming through the smoke, not retreating, attacking. 4 more Panthers, advancing in a tight formation. They have identified your position. They are coming for you specifically. You do the math. You have maybe 12 rounds of armor-piercing left. 4 tanks, 3 rounds per tank, if every shot counts, if you do not miss, if they do not kill you first. Cobra units, this is Cobra 6. I have 4 more contacts, 620 yards, advancing on my position. Could use some help here. Static. Then, Cobra 6, Cobra 3 is moving to support. ETA 2 minutes. 2 minutes. A lifetime. Load, you say. Sabo. Up. The Panthers are at 600 yards, moving steadily, confidently. They have seen what you did to their comrades. They are not making the same mistakes. They are spreading out, covering each other. You pick the rightmost Panther. Fire. Hit. The track flies off, immobilized, but not destroyed. The other 3 Panthers fire simultaneously. 1 round hits the stone wall in front of you. Fragments spray across your front armor. Another round misses high. The 3rd hits your front glacis. The impact is a hammer blow. The entire tank rings like a bell. You are thrown against the turret wall. Your vision whites out. But the armor holds. The round bounces, ricochets into the sky. "We're good," Kowalski shouts. "We're still good." You shake your head, clear the stars. Traverse left, Panther, 580 yards. Fire. Miss. The round goes wide. Reload. Up. Fire again. Hit. The Panther's turret. Penetration. 8th kill. 2 Panthers left. They are at 500 yards now, close enough that you can see details. The Balkan cross on the turret. The spare track links welded to the front armor. The commander and the cupola. They fire again. Both rounds hit. One strikes your turret, the other hits the front. Your tank rocks, metal screams, but the armor holds. You cannot believe the armor is holding. Return fire. Reese fires. 9th kill. The Panther's engine explodes. The tank slews sideways. 1 Panther left. It is at 450 yards. It has stopped. It knows it cannot advance alone. It is waiting for support. You do not give it time. Fire. The round hits the Panther's gun mantlet. The barrel bends, disabled. 10th kill. And then Cobra 3 arrives. Lieutenant Morrison's Sherman crests the ridge to your left and puts 2 rounds into the immobilized Panther you hit earlier. 11th kill. The field goes silent again. The attack is over. The 113th Panzer Brigade is retreating, not pulling back, retreating, breaking contact, abandoning the field. You key the radio. Your voice sounds strange, distant. "All Cobra units, this is Cobra 6. I count 11 enemy vehicles destroyed. Confirm?" Cobra 6, Cobra 3 confirms. "I count at least 11, maybe more." "Jesus, Bill, what the hell did you just do?" You do not answer.
You are staring at the battlefield, at the burning tanks, at the German crews stumbling through the smoke, at the fog lifting to reveal the full scope of what just happened. You are staring at history. The fight at Arracourt continues for 3 more days. Your crew destroys 2 enemy vehicles. But that first morning, that 7-minute engagement, is the one that matters, because word spreads fast. By noon, everyone in the 4th Armored Division knows what happened. 1 Sherman crew, 11 enemy vehicles. The story moves up the chain of command, regiment, division, corps. By evening, it reaches Patton himself. Patton, who has been fighting the Pentagon for months about the Sherman, who has been told repeatedly that American tanks are adequate, that armor superiority does not matter, that superior numbers and tactics will compensate for inferior equipment. Patton, who knows better, who has watched his crews die in metal coffins. He reads the after-action report. He reads about Wild Bill McCollum, about a farm boy from Kansas who held his ground when he should have retreated, who destroyed 11 enemy vehicles when doctrine said he would be lucky to destroy 1. And Patton picks up the phone.
The commander of the 113th Panzer Brigade is General Major Erich von Waldenburg. Experienced, capable, confident. He has been assured by his staff that American armor is inferior, that Panthers and Tigers will sweep Patton's Shermans aside, that this will be like the Western Front in 1940, Blitzkrieg, Lightning War. He sits in his command half-track at 0630 hours on September 19, 1944, and he receives the initial reports from the attack. 11 vehicles destroyed or disabled in the first 7 minutes by a single American tank. He does not believe it. He demands confirmation. The reports come back. Confirmed. 1 American Sherman, 11 German vehicles. The attack has stalled. Von Waldenburg is silent for a long moment. Then he asks the question that will define the next 6 months of the war in Europe. How? His staff does not have an answer. The Americans should not have stood. They should have retreated. The Shermans should not have penetrated Panther armor. The crew should not have fired that fast, that accurately, under that much pressure. But they did. Von Waldenburg orders a second attack. More Panthers, more support, artillery preparation, smoke, coordinated infantry, everything by the book. The 4th Armored Division destroys 37 more German tanks over the next 3 days. The Battle of Arracourt becomes the largest tank battle on the Western Front. Over 200 German tanks committed, over 200 American tanks engaged, and when the smoke clears, the Germans have lost 75% of their armor. The Americans have lost less than 20% of theirs. The Germans retreat. They do not try another major armored offensive in this sector again. But the impact goes beyond one battle, beyond one sector. The myth is broken. For years, since Poland, since France, since the early days of Barbarossa, German armor has held an aura of invincibility, superior engineering, superior design, superior crews. The Tiger is unbeatable. The Panther is invincible. The Sherman is a metal coffin. Arracourt proves otherwise. Not because the Sherman suddenly became a better tank. It did not. The armor is still thin. The gun is still underpowered. The fuel still burns. But the crews, the men inside those metal coffins, they are not helpless. They are not victims. They are tankers, professional, trained, competent, and in the right hands, with the right tactics, with the right terrain, they can win. The German High Command begins to realize something terrifying. American industrial production has given the Allies an overwhelming numerical advantage, and American training has closed the quality gap. Every Panther destroyed cannot be replaced.
Every experienced crew lost cannot be replaced. But the Americans can replace Shermans faster than Germany can destroy them. The mathematics of attrition are shifting, and Germany is on the wrong side of the equation. By December 1944, when the Germans launched their last great offensive in the Ardennes, the Battle of the Bulge, they are already fighting with the knowledge that they cannot win an armored slugging match. They try surprise, they try speed, they try to break the American lines before reinforcements arrive. But the American tank crews do not break. They hold towns like Bastogne. They fight delaying actions. They make the Germans pay for every mile. And when Patton's Third Army, including the 4th Armored Division, counterattacks to relieve Bastogne, the German armor breaks. Not because of superior tanks, because of superior crews. Crews trained by lessons learned at Arracourt, lessons learned from Staff Sergeant Wild Bill McCollum. But here is what you do not know, what you cannot know from inside your Sherman on that September morning. Your fight changes doctrine. Your fight changes tactics. Your fight changes the war. But your fight also changes lives. Every Sherman crew that survives an engagement with a Panther or a Tiger, every crew that uses terrain and training and speed to compensate for thin armor and weak guns, survives because of what you proved, that it can be done, that the Sherman is not a death sentence, that metal coffins can become instruments of victory. By the end of the war, American tank crews will destroy over 6,000 German armored vehicles in the European theater. Not all of them in lopsided victories, many in grinding, close-range urban fights, many with heavy losses. But they fight with confidence, with skill, with the knowledge that they can win, because one farm boy from Kansas showed them how.
Staff Sergeant William McCollum survives the Battle of Arracourt. He survives the drive to the Rhine. He survives the crossing into Germany. He receives the Silver Star for his actions on September 19th. He does not attend the ceremony. He is too busy training replacement crews, teaching them the lessons he learned, show them how to fight, how to survive. He musters out in November 1945, returns to Kansas, returns to the farm. He does not talk about the war much. When people ask, and they do ask because everyone in Topeka knows what he did, he deflects. He says he was lucky. He says his crew was good. He says he just did his job. He never calls himself a hero. His crew stays in touch. Donovan, the loader who bled practicing loading drills, becomes a union organizer in Brooklyn. Reese, the gunner who fired 11 kill shots in one engagement, opens a machine shop in Pittsburgh. Kowalski, the driver who backed them out of death a dozen times, becomes a truck driver in Milwaukee. Wright, the bow gunner with the picture of his girl, marries that girl and raises 4 kids in Alabama. They reunite once in 1965 for a 4th Armored Division reunion. They drink beer. They tell stories. They laugh about things that were not funny at the time. McCollum dies in 1987. He is 67 years old. Heart attack. Quick. Painless. His obituary in the Topeka Capital Journal mentions his military service in one sentence. It focuses on his 42 years as a farmer, his service to the local school board, his wife of 40 years, his 3 children and 7 grandchildren. The obituary does not mention Arracourt. It does not mention 11 enemy vehicles destroyed in 7 minutes. It does not mention that he changed the course of armored warfare. But historians know, military analysts know, the tankers who came after him know. Today, the M4 Sherman is recognized for what it always was, not the best tank of World War II, not the most heavily armored or the most powerfully gunned, but the most effective, the most reliable, the most versatile. The tank that won the war not through superiority, but through competence, adaptability, and overwhelming numbers. 75,000 Shermans were produced during World War II. They served on every front, they fought in every theater, and they won, not despite their limitations, but through the skill and courage of the men who crewed them. Men like Wild Bill McCollum. Men who looked at the mathematics of death and said, "Not today." Men who climbed into metal coffins and turned them into chariots. The Sherman tank has a reputation today that it did not have in 1944. It is respected, studied, preserved in museums from Fort Knox to Bovington. When military historians discuss World War II armor, they no longer focus solely on Tigers and Panthers. They talk about Shermans, about their crews, about their victories, about Arracourt. But here is the truth that matters most. This story, this impossible, improbable 7-minute engagement on a foggy September morning in France is not about tanks. It was never about tanks. It is about 5 men. A farm boy from Kansas who prayed for competence. A loader from Brooklyn who practiced until his hands bled. A gunner from Pittsburgh who never missed. A driver from Milwaukee who never quit. A bow gunner from Alabama who fought for the girl in the picture. 5 men who were told they had no chance. 5 men who did not care what they were told. 5 men who held the line. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We are dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. These stories connect us across generations. They remind us that ordinary people, farmers and factory workers and truck drivers, can achieve extraordinary things when the moment demands it. Thank you for ensuring that Staff Sergeant William Alexander McCollum and the 5 men of his Sherman crew do not disappear into silence. They held the line when everyone said they would break. They fought a metal coffin like a weapon of war. They proved that courage and skill can overcome any disadvantage.